Yo, YouTube, what is up, man? I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Cinco de Drinko is today. I didn't even realize what day it was. We had May the 4th was not with us yesterday. Cinco de Drinko charts are looking a little drunk. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it, man. So, as y'all can see here, we have just been ranging for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 fucking days we have been ranging. Good Lord. Now, if you don't know why or what it means that we've been ranging, we've just been moving sideways, right? We've had a little bit of price action pump up, but relatively just been staying within this same price zone around here at, this 93,000 area. It's been a very good area of consolidation on higher time frame. This is on the daily support, and this is Bitcoin, by the way. If you couldn't read the ticker or if you just got lost, I don't know. Anyway, so we've just been ranging. We've been going sideways here, right? At this point, right now, we have a really strong and solid support being created at the 93,700 and 750-ish area. We'll just call it 750 just for, okay, we'll call it 93,650, whatever, just for simplicity's sake, right? As you can see, every time prices approach this area, we wicked away and been unable to close below this level. It is imperative that if you want to look for shorts, we need to get a candle to close below support. Why do you need to see it close? Well, I mean, this tells you everything you need to know. We wicked below it. We wicked below it. We wicked below it. Right? We keep wicking, but we keep closing above support. So what that tells me is that this is a really strong area that price is looking to accept, right? So for me, what I'm looking for at this point, we have support being created on the daily time frame. If we drop down to the 4-hour, boom, we had price try and break below here, right? We attempted a break below at this 7 a.m. candle, 7 to 11 a.m., whatever. We price tried to attempt to break below it and could not. Now we're rejecting away. Okay. So for me, the most important thing that we want to see is if we're going to get long, we need to see price close above 94,800, right? If we get a candle to close above 94,800, that would signal a buy opportunity. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind, today there were two major bank holidays, so GBP and Japan both had bank holidays today, so that's half of the volume, right? For the London New York crossover, half of the volume is on holiday, right? Which is why we're just ranging, right? Even here, we're just moving sideways. Okay, so we're not going to be able to get price to push above or below any level without some sort of volume. And as we go, keep that in mind as we go into later parts of the day. It's only 12:30 right now, but as we go into later parts of the day, keep in mind the fact that we're not going to have any Japanese trading during the Asian session, right? Now that's not to say that we can't get a push up. With purely New York being open right now, right? We have New York open from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. With New York being open, you could get a little bit of momentum. However, I would imagine that this is just going to be an area where we trade within until we get the banks open to all back up at the same time. So this becomes a no trade zone, right? Especially because we have price just printing candles side by side. When price is printing candles side by side, there's no room for it to move on lower time frames, especially if they're printing side by side on higher time frames. So what we need is like this here, we have this gap, right? If we can, the reason I say we need to close above here is because if we can close above and then push above the candle that closes above this area, we have at least a 900 pip range, right? Holy shit, that's a huge range. Now, I guess you could say like a 95 pip range if you want to. It's a $950 range, so it's a 95 pip range, right? Which is really good. That's a really good range to trade. Now, if you want to take longs up into this area, that would be this would be the area where we would look to get long, is if we can get price to close up here, and then we get a wick down and a push above. This is a clean candle range, okay? The only way we're going short is if we get a close. Okay. The only way we are going to go short and hold shorts below this is if we can get a close above here. Now, if we start getting candles to push up and then rejecting this level, we could always get a rejection and take it back down towards 93,600, right? But the only way we're holding it is if we get a close below 93,650, right? So for me, it's more favorable, in my opinion, to look for longs. It's more favorable to get positioned for longs, especially considering on the higher time frames, we've just held this area so well, right? Okay, so this is on the 4 hour. Now if we go down to the 1 hour, see if this aligns. I mean, this aligns perfectly, right? Look at how clean this candle is. Look at how clean this run is right here. Like, that is beautiful. What we want to see is price get up here, maybe consolidate, and then boom, break above and retest and go. That would be the ideal scenario here. Now, maybe we don't consolidate for this long, and it's probably not going to be this pretty. But what we want to see is price get above here, accept above, and then be able to move higher. All right. Yeah, so keep it very short and very sweet on Bitcoin. Otherwise, you know, until we get a close above here, or we maybe get some, like, you know, if we get a rejection candle that paints like a doji, something like this up here, and then we get a wick up that can't break this high, that can't break that high. We get a wick up and then a body that, you know, starts pushing down like this. Okay, then we could look to go short and take it back down to here, right? But until that happens, the only thing that we can do is wait for price to confirm your bias. My personal directional bias at this moment is long. So what I want to see is price get up here, form a wick, push up, and then be able to get up out of there. And you could either take it here or you could take it at the break of this level. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Whatever fits your fancy. Okay. So on a 1 hour, on a 4 hour, and on a daily time frame, you want all of the time frames to align with your bias. And right now at this point, the bias for me and the alignment for me is going to be bullish if we can get a close above 94,800. Otherwise, I'm just sitting on my hands and doing nothing. All right. So yeah. Now we'll go down to ETH. I'm going to make this very short and very sweet for y'all because I don't want to take up too much of your time. There's not really too much to say. ETH is very similar. We've had support be created around 1788. I'll call it 1788 just for simplicity's sake. And we have, obviously, we have this, what is this shit called? We have resistance being formed at 1844. Now, the reason I put it down here is because, again, this is where candles closed. This is where candles closed at. So if we can get price to accept above this area, we can fill this wick, fill these wicks, and potentially fill up higher into here. Right now, whether we go all the way up into here and then reject down, or whether we get up into here and we can't sustain and then we reject down, or whether we just fucking blow through that shit is yet to be seen, right? But what I want to see is price close above this area. That would give us a trigger to go long, okay? Otherwise, the only way I'm going short is if we get a candle to close below this area, push below this wick, then you can take it down to this area here, okay? That's on the daily time frame. We'll drop down on the 4 hour. 4 hour, you can see, right? Okay, so this is a little bit better area. So maybe we want to see a close above 1853 in order to go long, unless we start printing some favorable candles with some separation, right? Printing side by side like this is not what we want to see. We want to see some separation. By separation, what I mean is something like, okay, if you were to get over here, right, and you just took this candle away, okay, this is separation. This is, while the candles are printing side by side, look at how much area there is once price moves above here. Price moves above here, boom. You know, it's got a lot more air to move, right? So if you just Boom. Okay, we'll just go. We'll just play it out just so y'all can see. Let me speed this up a little bit. Oh shit. See, even that was not necessarily. There was no close above here, so that wasn't even a great candle to take. But once you do get the close above there, right? Okay, boom. Now we got some room to move, and it just kind of goes from there. Okay. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I was just trying to show you an example of what it means for having room to move, right? And at this current point, how we have it, there's no room to move. There's a lot of congestion. So either we need like a doji to print over here that has some separation, that has no price action, that has no like resistance for price to continue moving up, or we just need to see it grind up and consolidate at this level, and then we can get a boom, a push through, a retest, and then a continuation higher. Okay. So on even lower time frames, that's on the 4 hour. So on the 1 hour, we can get an even better picture painted. You know, it just allows us to kind of, be more concise, be more, I should say, be more precise with where we're looking at our levels, right? So we can just pull this up a little bit. So shorting here is no good. You have a very tiny range, right? Even if you were to just take a short from right here to right here, that's just a 24 pip range, right? It's nothing. There's nothing crazy. There's nothing crazy at all. Okay, so it's not even worth it in my opinion. You could wait for a close above 1829, but then you see all the congestion above here. So this is it's just a tricky range right now, which is why you just don't trade. If it's a tricky range, you don't trade because there's nothing obvious. There's no obvious confirmations, right? What we would need to see is maybe we can get like this wick down here, close back above, and boom. Then this would cause some separation and some some space in price that would allow you to get long earlier than waiting for up here, right? The only reason you would wait for price to get up here is if you believe that there's going to be a breakout coming. Otherwise, you would look for resistance, right? Which I would imagine that there's going to be a breakout incoming, which is why I'm waiting to see either price create space down here to get me long, or price to consolidate and break above this area. Okay. Very, 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 very simple. Very simple. Until it does either of those two things, or until we break below here and start filling this wick. Until any of these scenarios happens, I'm just doing nothing. In between here, this is a no trade zone. This is a chop zone. This is where you get chopped the fuck up, and this is where you lose your accounts, right? In between this area that is obviously mightily congested, you just do nothing, right? You just do nothing. Okay, cool. All right, so we'll drop to Solana. Again, Solana, very obvious. Whoops. Now, Solana is a little bit trickier because we did get a break below support, right? We got a break below support and it started to push down, but we haven't pushed down below this wick. So maybe we don't fill this wick. We're obviously creating some sort of support right now on the daily time frame. Okay. So yeah, Solana's a little bit trickier. This one is just going to be one you're going to want to wait out, in my opinion. So we got support being formed here. We have resistance being formed at $152, which will adjust as we go into lower time frames. The 4 hour, okay. 4 hours is actually a pretty good area because if we were to break above 152.50, you can see that we have a clean range of candles up to 157 about, right? We had price push away, tried to push back down, couldn't push back down, and now creating another bullish candle. So for Solana, what you'd want to see, in my opinion, is you could probably get long if we had a candle close above 147, right? Even though there's some congestion here, this is probably a weak area of resistance. You can see there's no wick formed here, which means there's no range for that hourly candle. 4 hour candle, I should say. Sorry. There's no wick formed on this one. So you can definitely see price get up here and boom, just start approaching this top area. Now, it might not be this clean, right? You might not just get this clean push up. It could just grind up, right? It could just do something like this where it grinds slowly and gets up here. It could do something like that. But what I'd want to see, at least, if I'm gonna chance along, what I'm gonna want to see is price close above this blue line, and then give me an opportunity to get long into the $152.50 area, and then if we can hold here and break above, then we have good room to move. All right. So I'm positioned. My bias is long right now. Until we're able to break down from this level. If we were to close below here, right? If we close below here and then we get a wick up and a push down, that would get me short, right? But until we get that, I'm positioned long, or my bias is long, I should say. I'm not positioned anyway currently. All right, and then even on the 1 hour, drop that down. See, just a little congestion. So you could wait. I mean, you could wait until 148.75, right, is broken, because you have clean candle price action and you have clean candle movement from there. Pretty clean, not the cleanest, but you have pretty clean movement from there up until about 152.50. Anything in between here is likely just to get chopped, right? You could do something like this, right? Like, you just want to wait. Just wait until you get price to confirm the way that you want it to look. You could say that we're double bottoming here, right? So we got a bottom, a failed break lower, push up, coming back down, failed break lower, and now we're starting to bottom out. But in my opinion, at this point, especially because not only the time of day, but also because there are banks closed today, it's just risky. So anytime it's risky, I'm not putting my capital at risk, right? If it's a risky trade, that means that it's not likely, or it's probably not going to be easily traded to go in my favor. And if I don't feel like it's going to easily trade in my favor, then I'm just not going to trade, right? I hope that makes sense. All right, and last but not least, get this one done, and I'm gonna get up out of here. I got some things to do. I gotta go to the doctor. Gotta go, or to the, whatever. Anyway, gotta go to the doctor. So I don't have time to play with y'all right now. All right, so on the daily, man, XRP really, okay, this was actually an excellent example of waiting for price to close below and then getting the trade that you want. Now, this is in hindsight, of course, but just take a mental screenshot, take an actual screenshot, draw the picture out, do whatever the fuck you got to do. Understand why this was a good short. This was a good short because price came into support, right? Price came into support. While it didn't close below support, the next candle failed to break above the high. So it wicked up and then it pushed down below the candle low. And what did it do? It immediately traded to the other side of the range. Immediately traded to the other side of the range. Now, we've obviously got some rejection here, right? Because this is a really strong daily bullish candle. It's a really strong daily bullish candle. So we traded into this area, but we have not broken below this daily low, which means that your bias can still be bullish overall, though there was a good short opportunity to take. Right now, that's in hindsight, of course. You're never going to know that price is going to play out like that. And even if you're in this trade, right, say you took this trade, you took the short here, right? Say you took the short right here. You had your stop loss above this high. It still kind of scared you because price started moving up aggressively into this area. So it would have had you in drawdown. A lot of people probably would have closed, even though their bias would have been correct, and you could have taken it down to here for like a simple 1 to 1.5, whatever, 1.35. Could have taken that for a short scalp, right? But as it stands right now, if we drop into the 4 hour, boom, we've created support on the 4 hour. Now this is all chop, right? This is all chop and slop. Right, so it's really ugly. You don't want, in my opinion, you're not necessarily wanting to trade until we get something cleaner than this, right? Which could include price just getting here, boom, doji, boom, create space, create clean candles, and then this would be a clean movement. And you could see maybe we chop and then we get higher. Who knows? Okay. But at this point where it is currently, this is on the 4 hour, we don't have any clean price action. As a matter of fact, I probably wouldn't even fuck with XRP. I would not even fuck with XRP until you get cleaner price action, right? I mean, this is just, there's no clean price action at this point. There's no clean price action at this point. If price closes above 215, you can scalp, right? These 3 candles here. It's very, relatively clean scalp opportunity that you could take, but you don't know if price is going to start rejecting here. You don't know if price is going to start rejecting here. Like, there's just obviously, right? There's like a lot of places where price could reject from. So it makes it a lot harder to trade. In my opinion, that just means you just don't trade this instrument, right? Unless you want to be ballsy and you want to take the risk. You're more than welcome to do that. You know, there are places where you can at least get some scalp opportunities in, but in my opinion, the best thing to do is just wait. You just wait until you get higher time frame confirmation, which would, until this daily high is broken here, right? This is where you got to really get a little bit deeper into the charts. Until the daily high at 220 is broken, this is just an area of chop, and you're likely to just get your account chopped around, right? So you need to have price push up here, maybe consolidate, break above, and then you can push up into these areas, potentially higher. But as it stands right now, this is just not a good area to trade, in my opinion. So stay the fuck out of XRP. Just stay the fuck out. Very simple. If you want to trade XRP, buy spot and, you know, just sit on your hands. Don't put your leverage account at risk trying to trade an asset that has no clear validation or invalidations. All right. I guess an invalidation of a long idea would be a close below here, but until we get that, you know, there's nothing to do. All right. So cool. Again, today is Cinco de DRINKO, Cinco de Mayo. You know, it's bank holidays, so there's not a ton of volume. Best thing you can do on days like this is just go pop a cold one open, kick your feet back, close the charts. Don't even fucking look at price. There's no point in looking at price today. Wait until tomorrow. Wait until you get a setup that you want to see, and then you can execute. Until that happens, you know, you're just putting your account at risk for no reason, right? Just to say that you're in a trade. And that is what we call a gambling addict. Don't be a gambling addict. Be a smart trader. Okay? Cool. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. I don't want to hold y'all too long. But I just felt like I had to come on and kind of show y'all, walk y'all through what I'm seeing right now. As the week develops, we'll either get confirmation or invalidation of the bias. Currently, I'm long bias until we close below here, until we close below 93,700 on Bitcoin. Until or unless, I should say. Otherwise, I'm waiting for a price to show me what I want to see to get long. All right? Cool. I hope that helps. If you are still here at the end of this video, please do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so that way you never miss anything that we have coming out for you. Leave a comment if there are any other pairs that you want me to look at, if there's anything else you need clarified for the strategy, if you need help deciphering what candles are good candles to take and what candles are bad candles to take, what is a confirmation candle, any questions that you might have, please drop me a comment, let me know, so that way I can get those answered for you to the best of my ability. But yeah, until we'll see tomorrow. I know FOMC is on Wednesday. Make sure you're checking your Forex Factory. You are staying up to date with news so that way you know if there's going to be any catalysts in the market. I was talking to some members in Discord earlier today, and they didn't even know that today was bank holidays. They didn't know that FOMC was Wednesday. So they're really just trading blindly, right? And that is the quickest way to lose your account. You never want to trade blind. You have got to understand and you've got to know what is going on and what catalysts could be potentially showing themselves in the markets at any point during the week, because that will help you better align your bias and take better trade setups. right? Simply, it'll help you take better trade setups. So, yeah. End of the rant. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll have more stuff coming out for you. We'll be back later this week. But until next time, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.